I clicked the record button right now because Tomas and I were just jiving about how dumb WWE's booking is. But thankfully, we have AEW and
we're talking about AEW tonight.
a sensible booker and Tony Khan just gave us AEW Dynamite Anniversary, the second AEW Dynamite Anniversary show. Apologies that this review is so late, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We have just been so bogged down with like busyness and all that. Tomas just closed a show where he's at. Congrats to him. Mary Poppins.
Thank you very much. But you were a little busy on Friday night, weren't you?
I sure was. Should I just bury the lead? So just as a little bit of a bonus to you guys, I'm going to relate to you my experience at my visit to the SAP Center last Friday night for SmackDown. Back on the road, baby. It was so much fun. Shout out to all the amazing fans that I met in line in my section. Shout out to section 110, by the way, because that's the best section of all time now. I'm not convinced that section 14 is the best section anymore from the NXT house show that Tomas was sitting in. But,
I'm sorry. I was playing with my bracelet and I wasn't listening to a word you were saying because whatever you were saying didn't matter.
Wow. Well, honestly, the inside jokes that me and my section were making, the Stone Cold impressions from the Deadlock podcast were all over the place in my section. But yeah, we got two amazing King of the Ring matches. Sami Zayn versus Rey Mysterio was good until the dump finish. Finn Balor versus Cesaro delivered a stellar 10-minute match, which was a joy for me to see. Our dark main event was that Bloodline 6-man tag against Finn Balor and the Street Profits, which felt like a house show match. So Finn was working.
Let me ask you something. It sure sounds like from what you told me that San Jose acknowledged the tribal chief.
Yes, they sure did. They absolutely did, much to Chris Lash's chagrin, who actually was with me at that show. If you remember him from some of these other pods that we've been doing, shout out to you, buddy, if you're watching this. Thanks for joining me on that night, too, because it was a load of fun.
Here's the thing. Roman Reigns, in every single arena he's in, he always has a mixed reaction. No, I heard that crowd. San Jose was Roman Reigns' country for one night.
Yes, but
it was. I don't know if it's because the bloodline is close to the Bay Area, but they were acknowledging their tribal chief in San Jose.
They treated and I was treating Roman Reigns like a superstar. Also, there were so many head of the table acknowledge me T-shirts in the crowd. He was like our John Cena in there for all intents and purposes. Roman Reigns and the surprise appearance of Edge were the two big superstars on that night.
That must have been cool to see.
Oh man, seeing Edge throw a spear for the first time since Elimination Chamber 2011. I did catch that on video, which I did post on my Twitter, and Edge did like that tweet as well, which I think is just so surreal to me. But I mean,
that is so cool, and
I know I'm coming off starstruck.
So cool. Yeah,
I know I'm coming off starstruck right now, but that was just totally unexpected. But that was the point where I lost my voice, legitimately, where Edge came out delivering the spear to Seth.
Yeah. Watching that segment and just seeing seeing Edge attack Rollins and then him not saying anything and then him getting on the mic and just saying, you, me, hell, and a cell. That was so cool. That was probably the best way they could have set up that match.
Yeah, too bad we're not reviewing Crown Jewel, which the results are in. We will be reviewing WrestleMania 17 in its place. Thank you to everybody who voted. That's going to be so much fun. But yeah, no, they're building up Crown Jewel to make it a must-miss show or a must-watch show. I mean, it's a must-miss show because of the blood money involved, but man, I want to see Edge and Rollins inside the cell because now it makes sense for to end the feud in the cell. You know, that's the first time in such a long time that the cell stipulation actually adds to it, you know?
Oh yeah. And you know, just to one up you, to match you, I will be on Monday Night Raw at the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California on the 18th, going with my brother and my girlfriend. It's going to be such a fun time. Can't wait to see what's going to go on there. You obviously got the superior brand, but I'm looking forward to seeing what we get for Monday, and there will be fun times will be had. It does not matter how good or how bad the show is. When you go live, you have a good time.
Yes, and that was the exact point of me going to SmackDown. It was my first live WWE show since February of 2020, which, ironically enough, was also a SmackDown taping. So if WWE is in your neck of the woods, I recommend you go check them out for sure, because it's always a blast. But we're here to talk about... Go ahead.
Segue to this. AEW, get your asses to the West Coast.
Please.
We are on our hands and knees begging for
Give me Revolution. Give me Revolution. I am
Give me a house show. I do not care. Give me an episode of Dynamite. Give me anything. We are on our hands and knees begging for AEW to come to the West Coast.
Yes, Chris and I are both like, Tomas knows this already, but I am totally all in to go for Double or Nothing in Vegas next year at the MGM Grand Arena. No pun intended on the all in, but it's very, very tempting, especially if AEW does not make their way to the Bay Area anytime soon. I mean, Vegas is the closest they're going to come, like, if it's not going to be California.
Let's hope they're slowly inching their way over here. Like, I'm sorry, this is the only time I'm going to call AEW out during this review. New York got their share. Miami got their share. North Carolina got their share. Chicago got their share. Start making your way to the West Coast. Show LA some love. Show Sacramento some love. Show San Jose some love.
The Cow
Show
Palace.
San Diego some love.
The Cow Palace.
Show San Francisco some love.
Jesus.
Where Monday Night Raw was tonight. They got a brand new spanking arena.
That's
WWE can invade there.
It's a Chase Center. I mean, AEW could easily use the Cow Palace. WWE is not using it anymore. But in any case, folks, we are discussing AEW Dynamite's 2nd anniversary, which is a huge milestone for them. If you're new to the channel and this game that Tomas and I play, we're talking wrestling every single month. So smash that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can. We are inching closer to 800. My goal is to hit 1,000 very, very soon. I really appreciate your guys' support so far. Hit that thumbs up as well if you're going to enjoy these debates that we're about to get into. I'm sure there's going to be some debates on this show, especially regarding this first match, Tomas. What do we got?
What do we got here? Do you have the match pulled up in front of you?
No, it's all good. I do. So it's going to be the big 8-man tag team match. Tony Khan not wasting any time. It's going to be this.
Okay, I remember now.
Yeah, it's going to be the Super Elite going up against the team of Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Christian Cage, and the one and only Bryan Danielson, who I was texting Tomas the other day. It took me this long, a whole month, to notice what the lyrics were in Daniel Bryan's theme song before the actual chorus kicks in. Literally speaking, it's the "You're gonna get your fucking head kicked in" to the beat of the music.
I'm gonna have to listen to that now because I haven't noticed that yet. But
it's legit there. It's absolutely there.
Look at the star power we have in this match. You got Christian Cage, you got Bryan Danielson, you got Kenny Omega, you got Adam Cole, baby, you got the Young Bucks, you got Luchasaurus, you got. This was, I'm not going to lie, this felt a little too similar to the match they had a couple weeks ago. Was it with?
It was
Cole
at Grand Slam
versus Luchasaurus. Yeah, it felt a little too similar to that, but this match was still a lot of fun. And when I mean a little too similar, I mean I loved the spot the first time, but they literally replayed the exact same spot with Jungle Boy. Cole has him in the camel clutch. They hit the ropes a bunch of times. They plant the big old kiss on the cheek of Cole.
Kiss of
it wouldn't have bothered me. It wouldn't have bothered me if it wasn't Jungle Boy. I was like, okay, they're going to make Jungle Boy look like a dweeb 2 times in a row now. Like, I get it. This is the Super Clicks thing. This spot isn't going anywhere. I love it. But Jungle Boy, come on. It would have been funny if they had Luchasaurus in the hold.
And Jungle Jack Perry was a workhorse in this match. I would argue that he was the MVP of it, honestly. In a match involving Omega, Danielson, Christian, Adam Cole, I could argue that Jungle Boy was the MVP, undisputedly, of this match. No pun intended, with Adam Cole on the other side. But he was really, really great. I would like to thank Bryan Danielson for a moment for introducing these chants, because early on, the crowd chants Kenny No Balls as loud as they can. And Kenny Omega was getting so flustered by it, and Danielson is just standing over there in the corner laughing his head off. He made it, though.
I like how you bring that up, because Danielson brought that up last week, and there's a difference when a wrestler brings up something a little silly naturally, as opposed to if WWE would have forced him to say, I don't know, remember when Roman Reigns called Sheamus tater tots?
Like, no, I don't remember that, actually.
Yeah, he did. And that's forced and kiddie and stupid, and the fans didn't like it. But when Danielson, on his own, without any input from my creative, calls Kenny Omega Kenny No Balls, and you see Omega upset about it like a child, that's how you get something organically over, and you don't force it. You don't make Danielson say it every 5 seconds. You don't You don't make T-shirts of it, even though there were some fans in some signs in the crowd that said Kenny No Balls.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, there's a difference, and not to compare, but it makes me think of something like that.
But this was your basic PWG style, like 8-man tag team match. It was pretty much exactly like the Rampage Grand Slam 6-man tag, just with Omega and Danielson added into it. It was pretty much the same match, but that doesn't mean it wasn't good. The Kiss of Death does occur, and the crowd chants "Holy shit" at the Kiss of Death, which made me laugh and laugh and laugh. And then Tony Schiavone with the line of the night on commentary. There's no place for that.
I love it.
There's no place for that.
So it doesn't. Christian Cage takes a springboard out of the ring indie taker from the Young Bucks.
Yeah,
that looked disgusting. The fact that Christian Cage is taking pile drivers at his age, props to him, but that promptly takes Christian Cage out of the match. Yeah. But I will say, Marco Stunt comes to his aid. Sorry, I'm glad he got that shit kicked out of him because that little fucker was wearing Crocs.
Literally, I wrote verbatim in my notes. Matt Jackson super kicks stunts to Tomas's glee. That's because I'm sure you were smiling somewhere when you saw Marco Stunt get his head kicked
if
off.
the little fucker wasn't wearing Crocs, I wouldn't have been down that.
Yes, exactly, for sure.
It was the Crocs for me.
Oh yeah, no. Does Stunt always wear those Crocs to the outside though? Like, I feel like
he does, and I think he does it on purpose to piss people like me off.
Yes, but Bryan Danielson, it's just beautiful, beautiful wrestling. I think he's reassumed his top spot as the best wrestler in the world at this point because he is just white hot right now. Daniel Bryan hits a beautiful Frankensteiner, but I implore you, Bryan, never hit the diving headbutt ever again because I have seen what happens to people who hit the
fact that he has the confidence to keep doing it, honestly, mind boggles me.
I mean, in the same match where Christian takes a Meltzer driver with his concussion history on the outside, like, no, dangerous. Oh, yeah. But Bryan locks in the cattle mutilation. Nick Jackson hits a senton to break it up. It is utter chaos at this point. And this was my nitpick on this match, Tomas. I had no idea who was a legal man, and I feel like the ref just gave up. Like, it just became tornado
I think they also
rules.
brought that up on commentary as well, unless I'm thinking of another match.
Yeah,
but I do think that was brought up as well.
There's no way that Adam Cole and Jungle Boy were the legal men at that point when the finish actually happened, which was a quadruple.
I keep meaning to do that in a big, huge 8-man tag match. I keep meaning to pay attention to the point where I can accurately tell who the legal men are, but I feel like my attention span just goes off the radar for a second. And when they do bring that up, I just go, "Oh shit, who are the legal men?"
Yeah, but not to overlook Adam Cole either, baby, because he was excellent in this match as well. I mean, again, this is one of the best wrestlers on the planet, I would argue. He hit a beautiful Panama Sunrise on the Jungle Boy. He's low blowing Luchasaurus again. How is one of the nicest guys in the locker room such an asshole on television?
I was just gonna say, after listening to the Renee Paquette podcast with him, after listening to the Chris Jericho podcast with him, and after watching him wrestle these past few matches, Cole's up there with not only my favorite wrestlers right now, but one of my favorite people right now too. Like, how can you not like this guy? But such a son of a bitch in the ring.
Right? Yeah. And like, he smiles like such a Cheshire cat grin. And I'm sure he was doing the smoker's cough laugh from up, up, down, down as he's getting the kiss of death. Something like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If anybody watches The Party play Uno on Up, Up, Down, Down, you'll know what I'm talking about. But
rest in peace, The Party.
Yep, but there is a quadruple BTE trigger, and Adam Cole pins the Jungle Boy. This is a 4-star 8-man tag team match. It's a great opener. Very, very similar to that Grand Slam 6-man tag. Maybe a little bit too similar.
That the baby faces lost again, but I stopped myself and I just realized they're working me. The heels in AEW are just so damn good, and they do such a good job. The Elite do such a good job of making me hate them, because I feel like as a fan, if I'm not shaking my fist at the fact that the heels won again, then they're not doing their job.
Right. Which is funny, seeing as how we're talking about the Reign of Terror on our Ruthless Aggression retrospective. But in any case,
more on that later.
More on that later. Yep. Stay tuned for next week. We'll be looking at Judgment Day 03. But Tomas, we hear from another wrestler who is white hot right now. You're wearing his shirt right now. CM Punk comes out and he cuts a humongous babyface promo in front of the Philadelphia crowd.
I gotta admit, Punk, and I like the guy, obviously. Punk starting to fall into the Sting territory. The promo every single week. I know I'm in the minority. I'm sure everybody else freaking loves it. It's great. But every single week, it's Punk. Punk gets an advertised promo. And I just feel like it's the same thing with Sting. Where do you go with these? I love watching Punk talk. I like seeing Punk. I like watching him wrestle a little more than I like watching him talk.
Yeah.
But this promo was basically just, it was Punk hyping up Rampage because he said he wants to wrestle and he offers the Philadelphia crowd a decision. Do you want to see me wrestle or do you want me to buy you all Philly cheesesteaks?
Oh my God.
It's pretty split down the middle about what they want, but they all decided they want wrestling. Punk says the best line, you know what? You can buy yourself cheesesteaks. I'm going to wrestle on Friday on Rampage against, in my opinion, one of the most underrated workhorses in AEW right now, Daniel Garcia. This guy is everywhere. He's wrestling everybody. Sure, he's not winning, but he's wrestling Darby Allin. He's wrestling John Moxley. He's wrestling CM Punk. He's off in other promotions wrestling other people. This guy's a workhorse.
He really is.
I really see it in Garcia. The only thing he's missing is AEW, throw him a bone, give him a win.
Yeah, he's really starting to grow on me. He's really starting to grow on me a lot. But I did not watch his match with CM Punk, which aired on Rampage last Friday at the time of recording. Tonight's Monday, the 11th, I believe. Monday the 11th. But CM Punk,
I did, and it was fun. He is such a workhorse.
And Punk went back into his long tights after working in trunks with Powerhouse Hobbs. Is he just going to switch off every time? Is that what's going to happen?
Apparently, he put up a Twitter poll asking what the fans want him to wear, and they all said the short trunks. And I'm like, you guys are no fun. Let's do something different. We've seen Punk in the short trunks for 20 years now. Let's see something different. It's not the end of the world that he's wearing long
something different. It's like Jericho switching from the long tights to the trunks in 2008.
Exactly.
It's a bit jarring. It's a bit jarring at first, but then you just sort of get used to it, So
you'll get used to it.
It doesn't really matter to me what Punk's wearing. It's CM fucking Punk. He's back. Can we just not complain? But yeah, wrestling fans always find something to complain about, and I say that as if I'm not nitpicking AEW right now, but
so Punk and Garcia set for Rampage, fun match. It was a good match.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have to go ahead and check it out. But our next match, Tomas, very, very interestingly, for the TNT Championship, it's not Miro because the week before, Sammy Guevara beat Miro for the TNT Championship to a huge babyface reaction in Mr. Brody Lee's hometown. You don't like it, do you? You don't like it. Why not? Why not?
I wanted Miro to hold the title longer.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand.
I wanted Miro to hold the title longer.
Well, here's my thing.
Okay, we need to get this elephant out of the way.
Okay.
So I'm happy Sammy Guevara is the champion. Let's get that out of the way now.
Me too.
Nobody deserves it more than him. He's probably the most over. No, I don't want to say the most over because we got Darby Allin. He's over. He's over as a mother. I'm so glad he is appreciation and the accolade for his hard work. But Miro was such on a fucking roll, and I wanted to see it keep going. And going and going and going. And I feel like there was still a lot more gas in the tank. When it comes to that. Now, I know what a lot of people are going to say. This isn't the end for him. Him losing the TNT Championship just opens the realm for him to win the World Championship. I get that. But we got to get that World Championship off of Omega first. And whoever's going to beat Omega for Hangman Adam Page has to have a very long run with it. A very long run with it before Miro can get to that point. So I'm just saying, until we get the World Championship on him, I wanted to see it go longer because I was loving it. I really was. I feel like there was a large portion of the roster Miro still could have steamrolled through.
Yeah, so do you think that if, like, Sammy beat Miro instead at Full Gear, for example, on November 13th, like, do you think that would have been enough, or do you think he would have gone a little bit
Maybe I
longer?
just wanted to see it go longer, and I don't know. I'm not saying it's hot shot because it was not. It just felt so. I was enjoying it, and then now
Well,
I don't know. I know I'm in the minority.
I
I
think
know I'm in the minority. I know I'm in the minority.
Well, I mean, I definitely see what you're saying for sure. And like as a fan of Miro, I would have loved to have seen him hold the title longer, but if Sammy Guevara was going on last challenging Miro in Mr. Brody Lee's hometown, the guy that made the TNT Championship famous, sorry Cody Rhodes, but that was Mr. Brody Lee.
Oh yeah,
it had to be a title change there. So I'm
it
not
had to. I understand, and just I do. I really understand. I just hope this isn't the end for Miro.
right.
Not going to be the end for Miro.
But
There's a lot more gas in that tank. Hell, he's got a
exactly.
full tank right now.
Totally. Well, Sammy Guevara certainly had a full tank because this was a TNT Championship Open Challenge. Who would answer it and knock open the forbidden door but the one and only Bobby Fish, which is
So
extremely
cool to see
interesting.
Fish in AEW.
Yeah, and as a singles competitor too, because he's been a tag team wrestler for the longest time in NXT for the past like 5 years, I want to say. Now he's getting the chance to go on his own.
Oh yeah, and spoiler, his performance in this match was so good that he was offered a contract, and Bobby Fish is now all elite. Thank you. So glad he's going to be exclusive to AEW.
Hey, yeah, Bobby Fish is actually wrestling Bryan Danielson one-on-one this Wednesday on Dynamite as well. So
Oof.
that should be a stiff. That should be
Can't wait. My body's ready for that match.
Yeah, but yeah, this match was. I mean, it's a good match. I mean, both of these guys looked good, but was the result was the result really in any doubt? Because Sammy just won the TNT Championship.
I was just gonna say, Guevara just won the title last week. He ain't gonna drop it to Fish right now. Like,
no,
AEW doesn't roll that way. They don't take the title off of somebody just to give it to somebody else the following week. They don't roll like that. Sammy Guevara is gonna be holding this championship for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, like, this was a good match. I mean, there were a lot of scary landings. I'm still, like, shook at how Sammy's still alive after a scary landing he took off a springboard. Like,
oh, yeah.
He looks like he landed right on his fucking head. Like, Sammy, man, he lands, like, at a different angle. Like, you know, at least, like, 2 more degrees at a different angle. The kid broke his neck, and he's done. But, like...
Oh, yeah. I don't want to say Fish is not unsafe, but he is stiff. Like, if you're going to get in the ring with him, you better get ready to have some broken teeth and possibly some cracked ribs, because Fish doesn't fuck around.
And Fish is a good technical wrestler in his own right, too. He hits an avalanche falcon arrow at some point on Sammy, which looked really nice, might I add.
Oh, yeah.
Sammy hits his nice little comeback. There's a Spanish fly. Then he hits the GTH out of nowhere and then pins Bobby Fish for the 3 count. But I don't know, 3 stars. I liked it, but you know, again.
So just throwing it out there now. Sammy Guevara's finisher is called the Go to Hell.
Yep.
CM Punk is in AEW now. They're gonna butt heads eventually, and I am ready for that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they're both baby faces, I mean, I don't really, you know. I mean, this was technically was Bobby Fish a face? It was kind of hard to tell, but.
Considering he's going up against Danielson, they might be slow turning him heel.
Probably.
They might. But in AEW, I hope the long lost question is finally answered. How much fish can Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish... God, I messed it up, damn it. How much fish can Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish fried fish?
Oh, God.
I want that question to be answered.
The answer is 31, but in any case.
I'm gonna tweet Riddle and ask him. I'm gonna tweet Riddle and hopefully he responds.
But in any case, there is a there's
if Bobby Fish could fry fish, there it is.
So
how much fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish?
He really loves that tongue twister, clearly, guys. But there is a really
moving on.
There's a really annoying piece of shit who gets on the microphone by the name of Dan Lambert after Sammy gets the pinfall. And he's annoyed by Judas. How How could someone be annoyed by Judas? Because Chris Jericho
Because Dan Lambert doesn't like fun.
Yeah, Dan Lambert's a piece of shit, man. I don't know.
Dan Lambert was never hugged as a child. He's probably never eaten ice cream. He's probably never been to Disneyland. He
Probably
is just
not.
what does Chris Jericho call him?
God, I don't know.
Oh my God,
know.
I can't remember. But Jericho called him something that
He called him a dipshit, I think.
dipshit. Yes,
Yeah.
Dan Lambert's a dipshit.
Yeah.
But you can't. But Dan Lambert pushes all of the right buttons. He knows what buttons to push to piss off all the fans. Dan Lambert is obviously involved in MMA, but you can tell that he loved professional wrestling growing up because he must have studied the greatest heel managers of all time, the Bobby Heenans, the Jimmy Harts, the Paul Heymans, because he knows how to get heat. I'm going to give him that.
Yeah.
I know. I'm going to give Lambert, I'm going to give the Devil's due.
Could you imagine a war of words between Dan Lambert and MJF? I know it'll never happen, but like I think they would both go crying home to their mommies after the evisceration on both sides.
Anywho, America's Top Team does attack Sammy Guevara, and I'm sitting there wondering, so are the Inner Circle not homies anymore because they're not having each other's backs lately? But then Jericho and Chris Jericho and Jake Hager hit the ring. They saved their boy Guevara. Wherever Santana and Ortiz, I don't know, probably a lunch break at this point. Is then when Lambert tells Jericho and Inner Circle that he's going to fight them, but on his terms, on his turf, which is going to be
Rampage this Friday, I want to say.
Where is it though? Oh my gosh.
Miami.
Miami.
Yep.
He says Miami is America's Top Team turf. So it's going to be Men of the Year and oh my God, the fighter, I cannot remember his name. Junior Dos Santos.
Junior Dos Santos. Yep.
Thank you.
Santos, yep.
Junior Dos Santos and Men of the Year versus Jericho, Hager, Guevara. I'm actually looking forward to that match.
Yeah, former UFC heavyweight champion, if I remember right, Junior Dos Santos. But that should be interesting. It should be an interesting match.
Oh, yeah.
But, another match that I had yet to see at this point, speaking of interesting matches, was the Lucha Bros defending the AEW World Tag Team titles. I'm assuming successfully against the Acclaimed, who I'm very happy to see.
They did.
Max Caster eviscerates them with a battle rap, just pretty much hyping them up for Rampage. But there is a huge announcement right after this rap, Tomas. You want to go into it?
Huge announcement. Oh,
it was the so there's a new.
Oh yes. Thank you. Yes, I'm sorry. I watched this. I watched this show, but sequence of events. This is why I have you. You're the memory of this team. Yes. Okay. So apparently Tony Khan, which I don't want to get too much into this rant for me right now, but why isn't Tony Khan the on-screen general manager of AEW? I would actually like to see him get a little more involved. You know what I mean?
I think it was because of that. Tonight you're going to be facing Moxley, which is going to be later tonight. And if you don't like it, then you're going to I don't know. I think he just saw himself cut that promo and he was so uncomfortable with himself, but which is
you know what? I respect that out of Khan.
That's fine. And I mean, that's totally fine. Tony Khan, you're still the man. You're still the best booker in wrestling right now. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see you on screen a little bit more, but.
Oh yeah. But so the announcement was supposed to be made by Khan, but it ends up Tony Schiavone's making the announcement. So AEW, let's clear the air for the fans right now. AEW Dynamite is moving to TBS in 2022. Not permanently. They're moving there because hockey season's going to start up.
Yeah.
AEW didn't want to butt heads with TNT when it came to that because everybody knows TNT is the home for hockey. They don't want to continuously keep switching up their schedule because they really screwed them up last year. So for the time being, AEW Dynamite is going to be moving to TBS. Rampage will remain on TNT. And I'm sure when the hockey season is over, Dynamite will make its way back to TNT.
Yeah.
But since we have a new station, they want a new championship for that station. And it's going to be exclusive to the women. And I love this. Have you ever seen a mid-card women's title?
No. The women's tag team titles do not count. The women's tag titles don't count.
They do not.
No.
So
Vince AEW
introduced the TBS Championship, and I'm so hyped. Now we have Sheida and Serena Deeb, who we're going to talk about later in the show, and Thunder Rosa and Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose and all these other women, Ruby Soho, all these other women that could vie for another championship and still be booked very strongly on the show. And now Britt Baker's AEW Women's Championship is going to be on a whole new level.
Oh, yeah.
TBS Championship is going to be a prize, but Britt Baker, she's got the Holy Grail now.
Yes, absolutely. And I just think it's funny that the TBS Championship is bigger, like, you know, in terms of like the plates, in terms of the material. I like how it's bigger than the actual Holy Grail that you were talking about. But
I think the TBS title looks better than the TNT title.
Really? Wow, that's a hot take. I mean, I love the blue on it. But I'm a big blue guy, you know, like not obviously, you know, I'm not a blue person, but I'm not a member of the Blue Man group. But blue is my favorite color. So I really like.
Damn, this whole time I thought you were.
No, of course I wasn't. What did you think I was?
Damn. Sorry, I'm going to need a minute to process this.
I know, but yep. While you're doing that, I might as well talk about this short-ass match. Darby Allin versus Nick Comoroto, who got a jobber entrance. I wonder who fucking wins this. Comoroto does hit one running power slam, but then Darby Allin hits him with not even a coffin drop. It was just a move off of the top rope. And Darby Allin pins Nick Comoroto like that. This was a 1.5-star match. It existed on the card. But you know, that just goes to show you the factory once again is like the Dungeon of Doom for millennials. They are there to.
Do we want to talk about what happened after the match, though?
Yes, I do, because it made
our favorite wrestler, favorite wrestler, QT Marshall, wearing the stupidest shirt in the world, turns Sting around and hits him with the diamond cutter. The most unoriginal move in professional wrestling. Not towards DDP. That is not a knock towards DDP. That is not a knock towards Randy Orton. That's not a knock towards anyone who uses the cutter. Let me go into that a little more right now. But when you're a wrestler and you don't have a finisher and you just go, oh yeah, DDP was permitted to use a diamond cutter, and you have to say it every single time on commentary, that is lazy. That is absolutely lazy. So you know what? When I become a wrestler, I'm just going to ask Stone Cold Steve Austin, hey, Stone Cold Steve Austin, can I use the Stone Cold Stunner and call it the Stone Cold Stunner?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
You have it all figured out, don't you?
I do.
You have it all.
Can I go up to The Rock and say, hey, Rock, I'm a big fan of yours. Can I use the Rock Bottom and call it the Rock Bottom?
Hey, Bryan, can I use the cattle mutilation and use it as my finisher? Can I have your blessing? He's like, yeah.
Hey, Kenny Omega, I'm a big fan. Can I use the One-Winged Angel and call it the One-Winged Angel?
I think we're getting our point across.
I could do this all night. Anywho,
Marshall
he hits Sting
sucks.
with the diamond cutter. He hits Sting with the diamond cutter, and Sting no-sells it.
Gets right the fuck back up. Even though Sting, I'm sure, was hit with a diamond cutter so many times in WCW, Sting no-sells QT Marshall's variation, totally killing any and all credibility that QT Marshall will ever have. And then
if I was DDP, I would pull a muscle on purpose doing yoga just to feel the pain that he probably did. See his finisher get no-sold.
Easy. Well, I mean, how would you feel if you were Seth Rollins watching Dr. Baker hit the curb stomp and people kick out of that all the time? You know?
How do you think Rollins felt when he hit the curb stomp 20 times in a row on Bray Wyatt just to see him get back up every time?
Don't fucking remind me. We were already talking about a good live experience. I don't want to remember a shitty main event, but Sting death drops, if I can English, Sting death drops QT Marshall for his troubles. Darby Allin is still one of the most over guys on the roster. He does have an angle with MJF and the Pinnacle, which pays off.
To get serious for a moment, let's talk about that.
Yeah, do we want to? Yeah, let's just talk about it now.
Was so intense. So MJF called out Darby Allin last week. And this is I'm going to get a little passionate about this promo, not for the reasons you might think, but Darby Allin, MJF just continuously tries to push Darby Allin's buttons, calling him a school shooter mime with a skateboard gimmick, and then going into the fact that Darby Allin is straight edge. And the reason he's straight edge is because when Darby was a teenager, he got into a car with his alcoholic uncle. They got into a car crash and his uncle died. Not only is that bad enough that MJF brought it up, MJF rubbed salt in the wound by telling Darby Allin to his face the wrong person died that night. And I was fuming when I heard that. And I wanted MJF. Darby Allin just to end MJF right there. But Darby Allin doesn't. He tells MJF, you're trying to get in my head, and I'm not going to let you. And he walks away. And that just spoke volumes to me. Because MJF, kayfabe obviously, but this is a good life lesson. MJF is a bully. And bullies in real life, I don't think what MJF said was going too far, because bullies in real life do that. They will bring up personal stuff that they bring up, and they will do anything it takes to tear you down. And the fact that Darby Allin turned around and told MJF to his face, I'm not going to let that bother me. He beat MJF already. So to anybody out there that is going through something similar like that, you'll win mentally.
Yes. That
promo just spoke volumes to me. That made me love this angle. This angle that we're going to get in this eventual match.
Yeah.
I'm invested.
I'm thinking we're getting in Full Gear. Darby Allin versus MJF, presumably with a stipulation. But would you look at that? It's a match we've never seen before. That's why I love Tony Khan as a booker. You know, Darby Allin versus MJF sounds like such a unique match. And the way they're building it up is so wholly unique. MJF is for sure the bully. Darby Allin is mentally winning right now. He's still kind of playing mind games, reversing MJF's psychology. But they cut later on to the back. Darby Allin's leaving the arena, and I believe it was Marvez, if I remember right.
Yes.
It was Marvez who approaches Darby Allin, who basically said, hey, are you going to accept MJF's challenge for Dynamite? And he's like, I never thought he'd ask. And then he starts to leave. There's a bunch of men in balaclavas who attack Darby Allin. First things first with a steel chair. Then a bunch of guys get out of a limousine, and they start attacking him. There's an F10 on some guardrails, which Darby Allin, again, has no fear taking an F10 on those guardrails. It made it fully clear that it was the Pinnacle, because Sean Spears was the one who hit the chair shot. Wardlow hit the and FTR was there. And finally, MJF in the last balaclava-clad attire basically chokes out Darby Allin in the parking garage, and the Pinnacle storms off. So that eventual Darby Allin versus MJF match is going to be money, I say. But
because they do announce in the next match that Darby Allin is not cleared to compete, so that match will not be happening next week. Good. This feud has a lot more promo time.
Yeah,
and then this is for a pay-per-view.
Yeah, if I were Tony Khan, yes, absolutely save it for Full Gear for sure. It's in a few weeks, so make people pay to see that match. So, I've got a couple more promos before we get to the next match. Dante Martin is in the ring. He's here to fight anybody. Malachi Black then proceeds to kick his head off, which I freaking loved. And then Ricky Starks comes out. He's hyping up a Philly street fight with Brian Cage on Rampage, which I hear was brutal for the FTW title. One thing
it was decent, and Ricky Starks won.
Yep, Ricky Starks beat Brian Cage again.
He didn't go over Cage clean, but he still won.
Oh, of course, yeah, which is great. You know, it makes me think that they're building up Ricky Starks for CM Punk at Full Gear, because CM Punk is going through all of Team Taz right now. But that's only fitting that he goes after the leader. But Cage
and how? Wow, I just realized how just metaphorically, what's the word I'm looking for? Just mind blowing that CM Punk could win the FTW title. A title that was I'm just saying a title that was, like Taz said on Rampage, it was groomed in Philadelphia, really based off of ECW. Punk technically got his start in ECW, and if you ask me, Punk would have fit like a glove in the original ECW.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But do I think
will they put the title on the line?
No.
I get it. They probably won't, but
no, that's just
it was an idea that just came to my mind.
That's a gimmick title, like the TNA Legends title. You know, that's why I have a problem with the FTW title right now. That was a gimmick for Taz to carry around back in the day in ECW. It was a gimmick for Brian Cage through the pandemic, and now it's a gimmick for Ricky Starks to help him get over. So,
could you imagine if Punk won it and threw it in the trash can?
Oh man, if Punk won it and threw it in the trash can, that would be it. It would just feel like
Yeah, but
Oh yeah.
getting
Yeah.
back to the in-ring action, you mentioned these two ladies earlier on. It's Hikaru Shida, who's going for her 50th win on AEW, going one-on-one with the woman of 1,000 holds, Serena Deeb. Now, here's the thing. I thought that Sheida was going to go over for sure because of that trophy
Everybody
that
did.
Aubrey Edwards presented. But no, spoiler alert, she does not win. And
Yeah,
this was...
wow. They not only did they pull the rug from underneath us, they actually have a mid-card women's feud right now that's going to be extended a few weeks. Sheida's obviously going to get this 50th win, and they're going to make sure no other woman gets that 50th win. But how much of a bitch does this make Serena Deeb?
Right. And
she stopped Shida from winning. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I mean, that's just the nature of the game. Like, you have to stop the other person from winning because you want to win yourself. So that's like,
not only did she take Shida's moment away, she took the plaque and blasted it with her after the match. And also, let's add on top of that, Deeb made Shida tap out.
Clean. With the Serenity Lock in the middle of the ring. That's what was shocking to me. Shida taps out, lickety split, no disputing whatsoever. Shida admitted that Serena Deeb was the better woman on this night, which honestly makes me very, very happy to see. Serena Deeb is such an underrated worker, and she has been for such a long time. So technically sound. There is a reason why she's the woman of 1,000 holds. Like, she literally, I feel like, does know at least 1,000 holds. So it's only a matter of time before there's a woman who tries to reenact Jericho's woman with 1,004 holds gimmick. So
hell, Deeb should do it to herself. She should say she has 1,005 holds just to get over Jericho.
Yes, but Shida was selling that left knee tremendously. But to our point earlier on, Shida taps clean to the Serenity Lock. This is a very good women's match. Very solid wrestling all around. 3.25 stars. Bonus points for a surprising finish. Good job on you, Tony Khan.
Yeah, and Deeb blasts Shida with the plaque after the match. Like, ooh, you dirty bitch.
Yes.
Ooh, we want to see Deeb lose. We want to see Shida get her plaque, but we gotta wait. That's the
wait
thing.
a little bit.
Make them wait. Make them wait.
I don't think they
instant gratification.
Yeah, I don't think they make them wait until the tournament, though. I don't think they sent Shida on this big losing streak because this is Shida after all. So
normalize not giving wrestling fans instant gratification in 2021. That is my plea.
That's my plea. But hey, Tomas, you want to talk about this main event? Ready?
Real quick, before we do, did we skip over? No, okay, there's a segment we skipped over that I want to talk about.
Wait.
Cody Rhodes.
Oh, fucking hell, yes.
Can we talk about Arn Anderson for a second?
Yep.
So, Arn Anderson, I'm scared of him. I never want to meet Arn Anderson.
No.
Because apparently, if you try to steal his car, he will pull out his Glock and he will shoot you dead.
Yes.
Glock Anderson gonna make some bodies turn gold.
Glock Anderson.
You don't fuck with Arn Anderson.
You don't. He's
You don't cut in line.
You
don't cut him off in line at Starbucks.
Okay, is this angle of Arn Anderson like breaking into Cody's house actually building up to Cody versus Arn at Full Gear? I really hope it's
I doubt it. No, Arn is just trying to hype Cody up, get him out of change his persona a little, change the damn gimmick because AEW is fully aware that we don't like him.
Well, yeah, but Cody says that he would rather retire than turn fully heel again, but he might have to.
Oh, well, then Cody might as well just turn heel. I mean, might as well retire now because I can't fucking take this shit anymore. Anywho, Arn shows up in Cody's backyard, and Cody's like, "What are you doing, man? What are you doing?" And Arn's like, you gotta take off the tie and burn the tie. And Cody's and then Arn just slaps the shit out of Cody, and then before that, Arn says, "Why don't you just go and paint a star on your face?" And I'm just like, "Holy shit!"
Because may I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, the whole reason AEW exists is because Vince McMahon would not allow Cody Rhodes to be anything else other than fucking Stardust. Think about that.
Which was a good gimmick for the time, but when it was time to put it to rest, they could have prevented all this.
I disagree, man. You know, like Stardust, I hated from the start. But
that's another conversation for another time.
Yes, but anywho, speaking of I mean, I was gonna say Stardust was in this ladder match, this big group ladder match.
I needed an excuse to talk about Glock Anderson because that's my favorite wrestling meme right now. Glock Anderson gonna take some bodies turn cold.
Glock Anderson. Well, I mean, all the bodies in this match might as well be in a mausoleum because your main event of AEW Dynamite's second anniversary. We have a casino ladder match. People coming out one at a time at equally timed intervals for some fucking reason.
So it's basically Rumble in the Bank.
I hate it. I hate it so much because, okay, well, first things first, the two guys that start off.
I can't take credit for that, by the way.
I know.
I disagree with it.
Yeah, so the two guys who start off are Pac and Orange Cassidy, who I think were the right two to start this off because plays into their history on AEW pay-per-views in the past. Revolution 2020, where they had a banger of a match. Double or Nothing 2021, one of Tomas's favorite matches of the year, and one of mine, three-way with Omega, where Orange Cassidy should have won the world title. I'm still fully on board with that. But
no matter about that.
Yeah, but here's my thing, Tomas, and this is not a knock on these 7 guys because they killed each other in this, but if I were Pac or Orange Cassidy, wouldn't the smart strategy be to grab a ladder, knock the other guy out as soon as you can with your finisher, then race up the ladder, get the poker chip before anybody else has a chance to run down?
Oh, absolutely. Even on commentary, they said this match could end before all 7 men even get to the ring, which you look at that and you go, then why do this? Why are you going to give a guy like John Moxley an opportunity to win this match if he's not even going to be able to enter it in the first place? That's like having an elimination chamber match without the elimination.
Yeah, that would be imagine a one fall elimination chamber match. Like, why go through all this? Why go through all this brouhaha? Like, wait for everybody to enter and then get to the finish, because everybody's going to enter. Like
you could that would be a really stupid way to book the match, but you could make the stipulation like War Games, like no one's allowed to go for the poker chip until everybody has gotten to the ring.
Yeah.
But at the same time, unless you're going to put a cage around the poker chip, then what's the point of that?
Right. Exactly.
The only difference between the War Games is if someone tried to go for a pin, there would be no referee, and they would just say, "No, sorry, you can't go for a pin." Until in War Games is built around the punishment, but this is built around being. I feel like ladder matches, they're more about intelligence than they are about physicality.
Exactly.
So you're right with the IQ level of a guy like Pac. Wouldn't he try to get the poker chip right away? Someone with the IQ of like Big Money Matt Hardy, who has more ladder experience than anybody in this match.
That's
and
exactly
him being a
my
dirty
point.
heel the way he is. When he got to the ring, why wasn't he trying to get the poker chip right away?
Why was he making a beeline for Orange Cassidy? I realize Orange Cassidy shaved one of his guys' heads bald, but someone exactly with the ring IQ of Matt Hardy or a Pac or even an Andrade El Idolo to a certain extent, like they should be climbing up that ladder as fast as they possibly can without waiting for anybody else to come out. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's just
I agree. Probably my biggest complaint with this match.
Honestly, this is one of AEW's bad concepts, I would say. Like, why not just have all 7 guys start off and just have a big, gigantic ladder match?
Because I feel like people would just compare it to the Money in the Bank. But I think this is a little different because there's no briefcase.
Right.
You don't get the privilege of being able to cash in whenever you want. Your title match is going to be predetermined. So it's not a Money in the Bank ladder match. It's just a ladder match, and the winner gets a championship match.
Exactly. The key is simplicity sometimes. And the Money in the Bank ladder match, the reason why a lot of people love it so much is that the key is simplicity with Money in the Bank. But in any regard, Pac and Orange Cassidy wrestle egregiously for a little bit. They should be climbing the ladder. Andrade El Idolo comes out third, and he hits the Eddie Guerrero-esque sunset flip to Pac off the top of a ladder, which, ouch, that could not have been comfortable,
also,
that landing.
Is this really Andrade's third match in AEW? What the hell?
It must be.
Booking this guy more.
Please.
He wrestled Matt Sydal in a match you did not like. He wrestled Pac on Rampage, and now this match.
Right.
What the hell, AEW?
Yeah,
Come on.
How about Andrade versus Orange Cassidy in a loser has to put their hands in their pockets for the whole match, which I don't think
something like that. I just want to see Andrade wrestle more.
Could you imagine Orange Cassidy versus Andrade El Idolo on pay-per-view?
Oh yeah,
that would be a solid lower mid card match, honestly, or even just a regular mid card. I don't want to discredit either one of those guys because they're awesome, but Big Money Matt comes out. There's big delete chance for him. There's a side effect on Orange Cassidy. Why the fuck is he not climbing the ladder? But then Tomas's favorite wrestler enters during the commercial break, Lance Archer, and
I laughed so hard when I was like, "Damn, Archer got the picture."
Yep. I knew you were laughing somewhere. So
fuck this guy.
Yeah,
this guy.
I know. So Archer sets up the ladder, and he's thinking he's looking up at the poker chip.
Oh, I know where you're
looking
going.
Up
with
at
this.
him,
I already know.
And then he's looking around at all of the wreckage he's already had. Everybody dies, but he wants to inflict more punishment. And JR was like, JR was like, now's not the time to contemplate. Climb that fucking ladder, Lance. What the fuck?
But he goes to climb the ladder again, and then John Moxley's music hits, and you're like, "Hey, Archer, Moxley is all the way over there. He's all the way in the crowd."
Yep.
Fuck him. Go get the poker chip, and then beat the hell out of him.
Exactly.
He drops from the ladder, and he goes out to the crowd to meet Moxley. Who cares about Moxley?
I know. They fight in the crowd.
Who cares about him?
Of course, Archer's stupidity comes back to bite him in the ass because Moxley is in the ring all by himself. When who comes out of the Joker entry, my friend?
Hangman Adam Page, and I am ready for some cowboy shit.
As his nameplate said, he finally showed up to work. Congratulations on the birth of your child. Congratulations on the birth of your child. But Tony Khan making a joke out of his paternity leave on the nameplate, he finally showed up to work. Like you're selling it like he's lazy piece of shit.
I mean, Hangman's character kind of is. He's a lazy piece of shit, but we love him for that.
But the question is, who's lazier, Hangman or Orange Cassidy?
We would be shown in this match right now because Hangman Page is a house of fire, and the crowd is on fire for his comeback as well.
God, he was so fucking over. This crowd in Philadelphia was so happy to see the Hangman. I was so happy to see the Hangman back again. He hits a Deadeye to Pac, which the announcers make note of. Hangman and Pac were a day one AEW rivalry. So it was cool to see them finally play off of that. He hits a Deadeye on Pac off the top of a ladder through a table, which looked sick.
Apparently, Mark Henry did not approve of that spot. He said that Pac has neck problems, and the fact that he's been out for so long because of those neck problems, he said that was a very dangerous spot to do. I thought it was batshit insane. I'm not saying I agree with Henry, but that was a wild spot.
I mean, based on that logic, then Mark Henry should also be chastising Christian for taking an indie taker on the outside with his concussion history. Like he can't.
Good point, but
he can't criticize Pac for doing a move like that and leave Christian's indie taker alone.
That's a very fair point. But that was still fucking wild. That was easily the spot of the match, though.
I don't know. No disrespect to Mark Henry, but I just think that comes off a little bit of a hypocritical statement.
No, that's a very solid point. It is, but you can't deny that was a wild spot.
But here's the amazing thing about this thing. Adam Page was so over with this crowd. Him and John Moxley are going head to head. Moxley hits him with a paradigm shift, and Moxley gets some of the loudest boos on the night because he hits a paradigm shift on the Hangman. So,
I mean, because if your name's not Hangman Adam Page, you're getting booed tonight.
Yeah, because Hangman should be winning this. And lo and behold, I mean, there's some insane spots throughout the match. Hangman.
What the hell? Oh, you know what blew my mind? Matt Hardy at his age with his
I was just going to talk about that.
Hip, his broken ass tailbone, doing a leg drop off of the ladder through a table.
To Orange Cassidy.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Exactly. I'm sitting here thinking Matt Hardy ain't going to a retirement home just yet.
No.
He's still got a few big spots left in him.
He's still got some
respect.
He's waiting for his brother to join him in a couple of years so they can retire together in the same promotion. But I'm not one to cause controversy, but But anyway, you didn't hear it from me.
Just don't be surprised if Jeff Hardy gets a Universal Championship and the Universal Championship match in the next couple months. Because they're not trying to keep him around. They're not trying to keep him around.
He's going to get a Universal title match with Roman Reigns, presumably at TLC, but
but they're not trying to keep him around or anything.
No.
They just want to give him a title shot.
No,
they didn't shoehorn him into that triple threat because they're trying to keep him around. No.
They didn't make Kevin Owens take a finisher from Madcap Moss, Mr. Dad Joke himself, because they want Kevin Owens around. So, in any case, good booking once again. It's down to Hangman and Mox at the end. But Mox falls off the ladder, and Hangman actually fucking does it. Please pull the trigger on Hangman at Full Gear if it's going to be one-on-one with Omega. Like, you've waited long enough. It's got to be Hangman's time. If it's not going to be Danielson, like, it's a toss-up for me. It could be a coin flip between Danielson and Hangman on who takes it from Kenny, but I'm leaning more towards Hangman.
This raises the question, and it's a very interesting question to ask. AEW just announced starting next Wednesday, there's going to be a World Championship tournament. I'm not saying what it's called. I don't like what they call the tournament. Anywho.
The Eliminator?
I hate that they call it that. No fucking shit. It's called an Eliminator.
Oh, no, yeah.
That's what a tournament is. They eliminate each other. You don't need to, need to call it an Eliminator. That's it. Why don't you just call it a tournament?
Yeah, it should be the AEW Permanent Eliminator Tournament or something like that. I don't know.
What, if you lose the tournament, you get fired?
They should really drive the point home. If you're out of the tournament, it's not like Brawl for All. You're out of the tournament,
Exactly. Anywho, there is a tournament to declare a new number one contender for the AEW World Championship. The finals are going to take place at Full Gear. Mm-hmm. So considering if Paige and Omega is going to main event that show, who's going to win that tournament?
Ironically
they have not announced any brackets yet. So speculation is going to be rampant the next couple
Ironically
weeks.
enough, though, this is the same exact tournament that ended at last year's Full Gear. And the finals were between Omega and Hangman. So I feel like it would come full circle if Omega and Paige headline this next pay-per-view. Presumably, hopefully with a stipulation. I mean, Omega and Paige, like, certainly that's a rivalry that warrants a stipulation at this point, I think. But in any case.
Also, you talk about March Madness. Damn, October and November is tournament madness for pro wrestling right now.
King of the Ring.
3 tournaments going on right now.
Crown. Eliminator, probably another tournament for NXT at some point. And
they just wrapped up a tournament at NXT with the Breaking Stars tournament. There's a lot of tournaments going along, and you know what? I ain't here to complain. I love me some tournaments. Yep, absolutely.
Yes. It's the best way to resolve like a vacancy for a world title because it really adds.
Just not if they're in one night. You heard me say it. Fuck deadly games. I don't like 32-man tournaments in one night. 32 men.
Okay, correction. That was
a 16.
That was a 14-man tournament. Sir.
Oh, okay.
Sir.
Still too much.
Undertaker and Kane got a bye to the quarterfinals, thank you, because they were in that, controversial WWF title match. But, this makes me
you have too many matches when you have to result in a bye. Saying that now. We should review that show so we can argue about that.
This makes me so excited to review some Attitude Era shows with you, Tomas. But as far
let's add that one. Let's add Deadly Games to the list.
Sick. All right. Well, as far as this casino ladder match goes, despite the dumb stipulation that held it back with everybody entering at equally timed intervals, this is a 4.5-star match. I thought it was great. It was absolute chaos from start to finish. So many crazy spots. But again, everybody should just start off in the ring at the same time. So.
Oh, yeah. This was definitely a lot better than the ladder match where Brian Cage was the Joker. Yes. I will say that.
Yeah.
But if there's one thing AEW kind of needs to stray away from, you don't have to book the Joker as the winner every time. Because if you're going to do that, then what's the point of having the other guys in the match? It's basically saying, you guys don't matter. The mystery surprise is always going to win no matter what. Yeah. So there's no point in picking a winner. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that Money in the Bank ladder match where Brock Lesnar just came in at the end and took the briefcase.
Don't remind me. I'm still upset about that. But
rest in peace, Mustafa Ali. Anywho.
Nice. But AEW Dynamite 2nd Anniversary was a great show once again from Tony Khan. This is an 8.5 out of 10 from me easily. I cannot wait to see more from them. I cannot wait to see Full Gear. Presumably, if we get another Winter is coming, I mean, I'm totally not opposed to that. That's where Sting made his debut last year, so there should be some big shit at Winter's coming. But, I mean, in any case, any other final thoughts on second anniversary, Tomas?
I'm glad. I can't believe it. We are 2 years into AEW Dynamite, and here's to many years more because I'm liking what they're doing. We've said this on this channel a million times. We don't want to keep comparing to WWE, but when WWE makes us mad, we're happy there is an alternative brand we can turn to with a lot of familiar faces, a lot of new faces, and just good wrestling. This ain't TNA Impact from 2011. This is good quality pro wrestling on cable television. I was excited about AEW all the way back in 2019 because, hey, it's another wrestling promotion. I was with them from the beginning, and I'm so glad that it stayed consistently good that I am willing to give them $50 for a pay-per-view every couple months or so.
Exactly.
I don't buy every pay-per-view just to buy the pay-per-views.
Yes.
AEW makes me want to watch these pay-per-views. Sometimes every now and then I'll be like, oh, look, Impact has a show tonight. Why not? I'll throw them the $40. GCW just had a show this weekend. It was only $14.
It was headlined by Mox and Nick Gage in a death match, right?
Oh, yeah. So I can't wait to check that out. But AEW, yes, when I see they're having a pay-per-view, no questions asked. I support them every time. So it's good. I'm glad AEW is a thing.
Expect a review from us for Full Gear. Absolutely. It will be airing live on pay-per-view Saturday, November 13th, which is actually, I hate to bring this up, but I just couldn't help but notice this coincidence. It is set on the anniversary of Eddie Guerrero's passing, unfortunately.
Ooh.
Actually in the city that Eddie passed away in, right next to in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So
wow, that's a crazy coincidence. They did not do that on purpose. That is wild.
I mean,
Chavo and Vicky better be there on that night.
Yeah,
they better be there.
Yeah, Chavo should cost Andrade his match if Andrade has one. But
that would be wild.
In any case, folks, feel free to hit that subscribe button and keep up with all this discussion about all things pro wrestling over here on the channel. I, of course, also have my cinema talks over here. I'm deep into my Halloween special. I've got a couple more fun reviews to crank out this week. Hit that thumbs up button as well. It really, really helps us get this content out there. In terms of pro wrestling, again, keep your eyes peeled for Judgment Day 2003, keeping our retrospective going on the Ruthless Aggression area. And to replace Crown Jewel, like I said, y'all voted, and your wish is my command. We are going to be doing WrestleMania X7, often considered the greatest pay-per-view of all time. We'll see if that still holds true. So, guys,
Stone Cold versus The Rock, Part 2 for the WWF Championship. Triple H versus The Undertaker. TLC 2, and most importantly, the Gimmick Battle Royal. I'm so ready.
God damn it! God damn it! Oh, I knew that's where you were going.
Most importantly, above Austin Rock, above Triple H Taker, above Vince versus Shane,
above Kurt Angle versus
Gimmick Battle
Benoit.
Royal.
Above Angle versus Benoit. Well,
damn right.
The Gimmick Battle Royal, where the Iron Sheik only won because he literally could not go over the top rope. But in any case,
with that being said,
yes, thank you all so much. Again, thanks to Tomas for joining me. This is the ZNT Wrestling Show. Stick around till next time. It's been fun, guys.